Now at 6, a verdict in the trial of a McDonald County woman charged with murdering her husband. Plus,
this election season, AI is nearly everywhere you look. We speak with local researchers to see what voters need to know, but what they're seeing and hearing. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
And area students settle in for their first day of dorm life.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The verdict is in. Jurors in McDonald County, Missouri late today have found Dawn Wynn guilty in the shooting death of her husband. This is KOIM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Dawn Wynn is convicted on both counts, first-degree murder and armed criminal action for the November 2021 murder of her husband, Harold Wynn. The defense today called witnesses who included detectives and law enforcement officers involved in the case. The defense argued that the initial investigation of the scene included a series of missteps and said there were no fingerprints on the murder weapon. Dawn Wynn declined the opportunity to testify in her own defense. Again, she is found guilty. You'll find more details on the case on our website, koimnewsnow.com. First responders have pulled a 15-year-old boy from the Elk River after a near drowning. The teen had no pulse until rescuers used a defibrillator. It's not clear how long he had been in the water. Authorities used a helicopter to take the teen to an Arkansas hospital where his condition was critical but stable. Last report. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, we had scattered showers and thunderstorms for us during the morning hours, and then we really heated up this afternoon. Sunshine, upper 90s, but everybody in the yellow here, we at least have a low threat for some scattered thunderstorms as we go through the evening hours, and some of those storms could be strong to low grade severe. We've had a few isolated little guys popping up in our southern counties. These are dropping south and east. Here's our actual boundary, so it's going to be this little line that we really keep our eyes on as we go through the next couple hours as it kind of interacts with the I-44 corridor. Severe thunderstorm watch out in northeastern Oklahoma, also into northwestern Arkansas, so especially along and south of I-44. That's where we could pick up some of these stronger storms. Let's go through time. Storms kind of firing up along I-44 over the next few hours and then increasing mainly along and south of I-44 as we go through the evening into the overnight hours. More thunderstorms tomorrow. We're going to look at that here in a bit.
See you soon. Artificial intelligence, also known as AI, has skyrocketed in popularity and in use in recent years. Researchers say the growing technology can be used for both good and bad, especially during election season. KOIM Samantha Walker sat down with AI and political science researchers at Missouri Southern State University to find out what voters need to know about what they might see and hear.
Artificial intelligence has been around for decades, but with the rise of programs like ChatGPT, the technology has never been more visible or accessible.
The exact impacts it will have will change over time as the technology develops, because it hasn't been around long enough for it to be common among sort of lay users, but it's so accessible now.
And with a growing increase in AI usage, researchers are aware it could impact this election season.
As far as the election goes, it's undeniably very useful. I use it every day, a lot every day. However, the deceptiveness of it can also be very hindering to our society. And what's happening now in the elections is people are using it for good and bad, as they use any tool.
Researchers say in recent months, AI has been used to mimic Joe Biden in robocalls, create false videos of presidential candidates, and develop false crowd-size photos at campaign rallies. For political science professors like Nicole Foster-Schoaf, the misuse of AI can make election season even more confusing.
Voters have a hard enough time trying to figure out the information that they need for local, state, and national elections when the information is accurate. And now we're asking folks to have to decipher what is real and what is not.
But for AI researchers like Diana Fordham, AI doesn't have to only be a tool for bad actors. She says it can also be something you use to help get election information more easily.
I wanted to research J.D. Vance or Tim Walz. I can put it into AI and I can ask them specific questions to help my research on the candidate. And it will spit out in 3 seconds information that I can then follow up on other areas that I need to research on that particular candidate. So those are the good things. It's right at our fingertips.
Researchers say it's important that you know about AI and have some tools to be able to recognize it, because it's not going away anytime soon.
This is really the first election where it's easy and cheap to access, and people without a lot of technical skills can use AI to create videos and audio. And so I think it's going to be around a while, and it's only likely to become a bigger problem.
Both Fordham and Shelf recommend fact-checking anything you see online with multiple trusted news sources to make sure the information you're seeing is accurate this election season. Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
AI researchers say there are some ways that might help identify if the technology is being used in an image, video, or audio. It's not foolproof, but they recommend looking at the small details of images and videos where AI still commonly warps. In audio, they say you should listen to the vocal inflections, as oftentimes audio will sound kind of robotic if you're listening closely. This week, Pitt State students are moving in and preparing to kick off the new school year. The start of the school year brings an influx of students, which of course benefits local businesses. The director of community sales at Ron's Supermarket looks forward to when students come back because it brings new life to the town and local businesses.
I love it when the students are back because it revitalizes town every year and gives us a little bit of a new life every year.
Local stores like Ron's offer discounts to Pitt State students that show their student ID, which can be a big help for college students living on limited funds. It's also move-in day for students at Missouri Southern. There were a number of activities on campus today to welcome new students, including a pep rally, convocation, and a campus craze. Officials say the residence halls on campus are at 99% capacity.
We weren't expecting rain, especially where I live. We had no idea. It was like super hot when we left, and so when we got here that was a little bit unexpected, but other than that it's been super smooth. The students here have been super helpful so far. I've met my roommates and they seem great. I was able to get into my room, find it. All is well so far.
Classes at both universities get underway next week. The Outlaws return to Joe Becker Stadium in Joplin with some newly acquired hardware. John Dales has more on the 2024 Mid-America League champs coming up later in sports, but up first.
The Fort Scott Fire Department is training with its newest piece of rescue equipment. I'm Anthony Saviello. I'll have more about what it is and how it can be utilized to save lives coming.
Firefighters in Fort Scott, Kansas are going to be using some brand new equipment thanks to a donation by a local business. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
We're very fortunate that we had a business owner that wanted to donate some equipment, especially equipment like this. To have a piece of equipment that is readily available and accessible right at your fingertips for rescue situations is invaluable.
A new piece of rescue equipment known as the victim drag strap.
How he gets his hand all the way through, right? What that does is that takes out the need to physically grasp something.
Is now going to be utilized by the Fort Scott Fire Department.
The number of personnel that we have that arrive on scene versus a bigger department, any tools that we can use to make that rescue easier or with less people, we definitely use those tools.
The strap is designed to make the carrying of a victim of a fire or a fellow firefighter easier.
This was designed to be easy to install in your coat with no modifications, easy to deploy, and easy to stow. So once we deploy it, we just pull it out of our coat, use it, pull the victim outside, stretch our arms back out, it goes back into the coat, it goes to the stowed position. Now we're ready to go back to work.
John Horn is the owner of Typhoon Bay Car Wash and bought this equipment for the fire department.
So we thought this is going to be something that we can do to help our community. And so we donated those straps, and today they're getting trained on how to use them, and it's something I hope they don't ever have to use, but if the need comes, that they'll be prepared.
And because of John's donation, the department can be. Reporting in Fort Scott, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Each strap is priced at $165. The Fort Scott Fire Department now has 20 of them. A little bit later, the Lamar Tigers look to continue their winning ways for 2024. John's going to have a preview of their season coming up in sports.
Plus, we have some thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. After we got some morning showers and thunderstorms across the region, temperatures really heated up. We got the sunshine, temps soared into the upper 90s, heat indices 105 to 110 once again this afternoon. Nice shot though, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex looking northeast through downtown. We do have some cumulus clouds out there, but overall, most of us are pretty good. We do have a weak front. You can see this little line of showers, which is dropping off toward the south and to the east. A little bigger storm once you get just north of Ponca City. And then once you get into northeastern Oklahoma, we have some dying little thunderstorms. But these are going to flare up a bit as we get into the overnight hours. This is mainly going to be along and south of the I-44 corridor as we go through the evening hours. Right now, you can see one little guy in Cassville, one little guy just to the southwest of Grand Lake. And then where our front is, we do have some hit and miss little showers between Erie and Chanute. Then once you get over toward Neodesha and Fredonia. Besides that, everybody else is dry. Let me take you through the evening. Showers, scattered thunderstorms developing along the I-44 corridor into north central parts of Oklahoma. Increasing as we go through the evening hours, mainly staying along and south of I-44. So if you live in our northern counties, you are not going to see anything. And then these guys push out of here late tonight into tomorrow morning. All right, outside still hot. It's humid. Look at this. Low to mid 90s across the region. You can see those cumulus clouds currently sitting at 94. Westerly winds at about 10 miles per hour. And our heat index is still up there. Still feels like 102, upwards to about 110 across the region. Through the evening hours, hit and miss storms, mainly along and south of I-44. And this is all due to this little system, northern parts of the plains. As it passes by, it's going to give us chances for showers and thunderstorms this evening, again tomorrow evening. But here's the good news. We cool down a little bit behind it as we go into the weekend. All right, on Friday, level 1 out of 5, severe threat again, 4 p.m. to about midnight. I'm going to keep all the threats low. So this is for tomorrow evening. Of course, we have our batch this evening, which is going to push through as we get into tomorrow morning, lower 70s. As we warm through the day, we get up near 90 by noon, and most of us mid to upper 90s. But watch this cluster of storms. Here's 4:30 p.m. It drops in. Some of these could be strong to low-grade severe, and then it's periods of showers and thunderstorms as we go through the evening, into the overnight hours, even some leftover showers and a few thunderstorms lasting all the way until Saturday morning. So rainfall potential, we'll have to see where those storms set up tonight, adding in tomorrow's batch. A lot of areas are going to pick up a half an inch, maybe upwards to an inch of rain, which we definitely need. 74 in the morning, 91 by noon, high temp for us tomorrow, still up there at 97 degrees. And if we look at the weekend, 96 Saturday, random storm Sunday, but look at that, high temp of 90 degrees. So it gets a little bit cooler as we go into the second half of the weekend. All right, 96 Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Hit and miss storms all the way through early next week. Couple days, highs into the 80s, which is going to be pretty pleasant.
Yeah, trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
And a little bit of rain this time of year. Always
Not bad.
welcome. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the Outlaws return to Joplin after winning last night's Mid-America League Championship. And Lamar and Seneca High School football both try to make another trip to the state title game in 2024. John Dale says those stories and more coming up.
Late last night, the Joplin Outlaws played their 70th game of the summer and saved the best for last. They won the first ever Mid-America League Championship, dominating the Abilene Flying Bison 11-4 on the road. Now this afternoon, the Outlaws returned to Joe Becker Stadium in Joplin, cheered on by the fans that packed the stands all year and the host families that housed them. After a comeback win in the semifinals and a crazy championship that involved about a dozen ejections, the Outlaws are grateful to punctuate their season with a championship.
Every time we play Abilene, it's very competitive. They talk a little bit. We match the energy, so we kind of knew it was going to be a rowdy game, and just outmatch them with our energy. I love it here. So glad I got to have this opportunity. Just winning that game yesterday is everything.
It was amazing, with all the adversity we dealt with all year, whether it was umpires, injury, scheduling, to have it all kind of come to fruition after 70 games was huge and a well-deserved thing for this town, the guys, and everybody involved with the Joplin Outlaws.
The Lamar Tigers are coming off a Class II state championship in 2023. Their only loss of the football season came to Seneca, who made it to the Class III state title game, but finished as runner-up. Now today we hear from both the Indians and the Tigers 2024 squads. We start the morning at Lamar, where thunderstorms forced the Tigers to practice inside. Much like last season, Lamar has several positions to fill on both offense and defense after key contributors graduated in the spring. But head coach Jared Beshore is confident that his veteran players will become leaders.
They're getting better. Leadership is not something that gets, it gets solved within the first weeks of fall camp or even the summer. It's a building block. So we're trying to build leaders as we go throughout the season. And then by the end of the year, hopefully we have top tier leadership that we're looking for. We've got some seniors that are definitely capable of leading our team. Their class as a whole is definitely capable of leading our team. So we're just looking to put more leadership roles on them and see where they can take this team.
Elsewhere in the Big 8 Conference, Seneca hits the practice field this afternoon. The Indians went to the state title game in 2023 but fell short of the Class III state championship. Seneca loses a chunk of offensive skill position players from last year's group, but they return plenty of experience on the line of scrimmage.
I was really proud of our guys in the offseason. When we got back from that state championship game, we had a bad taste in our mouth, and our kids went right back to work in the weight room and carried that into the spring and into our summer workouts. We return a solid group of offensive and defensive linemen, and I think that's always a really good spot to start your program with, and we're going to rely on those guys heavily early in the season.
I just look forward to playing with my brothers. We've been together for the last couple of years working hard, and it's a beautiful place to play down here, and can't wait.
We pride ourselves on being different down here and practicing hard and bringing it to each other every day in competition, and it shows up on Friday nights.
That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. As Pitt State students move in on campus, we're going to hear more about the benefits it provides for local businesses. Plus, the Salvation Army of Jasper and Newton counties hosts a back-to-school bash for students and the importance of students getting a healthy lunch at school. Those stories, a lot more. It's all coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. It's hot out there, but the rain chances are going to continue for a while.
Yeah, we're going to get scattered showers and thunderstorms for us this evening. We actually have a severe thunderstorm watch, which is in effect really from Independence, Pittsburgh, Lamar, even Nevada, and then south. 4 hit-and-miss storms. These are mainly going to be along and south of the I-44 corridor. But again, some of these could be strong to low-grade severe, so I'll keep my eyes on these.
Final sports note.
We'll have more from Lamar and Seneca football tonight, both of them trying to get back to the state championship game again in 2024.
It's exciting for them. We wish them well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.